storming again. We know we get out of here before it storms. This week was a little weird. I did the main card predictions. It's a tad weird because earlier today they didn't have the main event signed yet, which they do now. It's going to be Michelle Waterson versus Marina Rodriguez. They didn't have the bout order at all. It had like a couple of fights. It had like 4 fights on the main card. Cerrone and Moreno wasn't on the main card, so I just did 4 fights that I think all are going to be main card fights. Maybe not Jeff Neal Magny. That might be headlining the prelims. But so I did 4 fights. Did not do Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson because it wasn't signed and done when I did the notes and everything like that. So I just didn't do it. Oh, man. It's raining. Fuck. All right. We're going on a trip, everybody. We are going on a trip. Everybody wait here. You thought. Be right back. All right, off we go. It's raining. We are going to get somewhere dry. I don't know why, but I don't like recording in the house. I don't like, I don't want to be talking and get on, It's like, oh, who's this guy talking to? I'm talking to myself / YouTube / the internet / whatever the fuck you want to call it. The fuck is that? All right, we in here. Now, bad thing is about this is no light. Fuck. All right. Be a little spooky, but we'll do it. It's better than being in the fucking rain. Everybody can see me. I can see my notes. That's how it's gonna be. Right there. Alright, so where was I? Let's just start off the first ones I wrote down. Amanda Reebots versus Angela Hill. I believe this is a rebooked fight that was supposed to happen a few months ago. Reebots 10-2, 4-1 in the UFC. Lost her last fight via TKO to Marina Rodriguez, who will be fighting in the main event. That fight was in January. Her only other loss is a knockout loss to Poliana Viana in 2015. She has UFC wins over Emily Whitmire, Mackenzie Dern, Ronda Marcos, and then Paige Van Zandt. She's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. She's going against Hill, 13-9, great kickboxer. I think it's kind of obvious to see if Reebots gets this fight to the ground. Very easy day for Reebots. If not, if she keeps it standing, rough day in the office for Amanda Reebots. Real quick, fucking standing in the dark. Just gotta make sure, you know what I mean? Angela Hill 7-7 in the UFC, 5-0 via knockout, 0-2 via submission. So no submission wins, 2 submission losses. She got big wins over Ashley Yoder twice. One in her last fight, that was in March. Another one in the beginning of her UFC career. Myra Moros and Luma Lukbomi. Probably Angela Hill's biggest wins. Great kickboxer. Going to be good if she can keep it standing and point fight her way to a decision. Although she is giving up a 2-inch reach, 2-inch height advantage. So it should be easier for Reebots to get a hold of her, take her down, and have her way with her on the ground. So I'm going to go Amanda Reebots in that one. Carlos Diego Fajeas taking on Gregor Gillespie. Gregor Gillespie, Division I wrestler. 7 gold medals in Division I wrestling, 1 silver medal. 13-1 MMA. Got knocked out in his last fight by Kevin Lee. And that was November 2019. So he's almost 2 years out of the scene. 5-1 in the UFC. Carlos Diego Ferreira is a third-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. 17-3, never been submitted in his career, only been knocked out once. 7 submission wins, 3 knockout wins. He's 8-3 in the UFC. Lost his last fight by split decision to Beneil Dariush in February. Great jiu-jitsu guy. A lot of the times people always wonder, how are you so good at jiu-jitsu and a wrestler is able to take you down and hold you down? It's just wrestling is almost like a kryptonite to great jiu-jitsu fighters. And, if you got down at top pressure and there's not a lot of room for somebody to kick their legs up, rubber guard, then it's kind of tough for jiu-jitsu guys to have any kind of offense off their back. If you're on your back against the wrestler, it's going to be a long night. So Gregor Gillespie is pretty easy candidate for the win in that one, in my opinion. So Gregor Gillespie. Donald Cerrone's taking on Alex Moreno. He's supposed to be fighting Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez ruined his career with Josh Fabiana, whatever the fuck you say his name. His coach absolutely ruined his career. No doubt about it. The guy started a lot of trouble with the commentators, the UFC commentators, the UFC. Pretty much anybody could start a problem with Josh Fabiano started, but even Matt Serra. So Diego Sanchez got cut. He actually got paid his show money, which is surprising. He got $211,000 just to, because he started a bunch of shit and they didn't want to hear about, he didn't get paid his money, yada yada. So they just paid him his money. So Alex Moreno stepping in. I know Kevin Holland even put his name in, saying that he wanted to step in against Cerrone, come down to maybe 175, 180 area. But instead, it's Alex Moreno. Alex Moreno's 18-7-1. This guy's got 26 pro fights going against Cerrone, who is 36-15-2. He's got 53 pro fights. Both veterans of the sport. Cerrone, decorated kickboxer. Alex Moreno, never been submitted in his career, only been knocked out twice. 5-4-1 in the UFC, though. So he's on a little bit of a rough tear here. He lost decision to Anthony Pettis in his last fight, and that was in December of 2020. Cerrone, in his last fight, went to a majority draw with Nico Price. That was overturned to a no contest after Nico Price tested positive for marijuana after the fight. 2 things to note with that. Alex Moreno also has a decision loss to Nico Price, except that was changed to a no contest because Nico Price tested positive for marijuana. In lighter news, Florida Boxing Commission actually just announced that they will not be testing for marijuana anymore in boxing fights, mixed martial arts fights, things like that. So something to look forward to. The fights go to Florida, smoke it up. You guys don't got to quit smoking at all. Smoke, I believe just going out to the, in the fucking locker room before you go out, you can smoke because there's no consequences at all anymore in Florida. Which, with all this COVID shit going on, Dana White has shown time and time again that he likes Florida. He likes to go to Florida and put on events at Veterans ViStar, Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jacksonville. So he's got a good relationship there. The UFC most likely is going to be coming back there for a good amount of fights in the future. They're going to Houston in a few weeks, and they're going to, I think, Scottsdale, Arizona for fans. I believe him when he says, there's going to be no more pay-per-views at the Apex. They're all going to be in states that allow fans and big venues, things like that. I got Donald Cerrone in that fight. I got a little off track there, but I got Donald Cerrone. He's got, huge wins in his career. Alan Quinta. It is notable, though, that he has not won a fight since 2019. He's 0-4-1 since then. He's lost to Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, and then Anthony Pettis. And then he had the Nico Price fight. Nothing to be ashamed of there. I mean, that's a murderer's row when it comes to the lightweight division. You got Gaethje, Ferguson, McGregor, and then Pettis. That's big fights in every fight that you're in. He's almost like the Kevin Holland of that division, I would say. He's got 27 finishes, 27 out of his 36 wins of finishes, 10 knockouts, 17 submissions. He's been knocked out 7 times. He's only been submitted once, and that was by Benson Henderson way back in the day. I think that's where the fight's going to be decided. Alex Moreno's a great striker. Donald Cerrone's a great striker. I think if Donald Cerrone wants to avoid, he's getting older, the chin might be going. If he wants to avoid any kind of risk in losing this fight, he takes the fight to the ground, does it kind of what he did to Mike Perry. He takes him to the ground, gets him into submission, and ends the fight that way, so he doesn't have to worry about getting clipped or any weird things happening on the stand-up. Because I think he could beat Alex Moreno standing up too. It's just, chin's going, get clipped, anything can happen standing up. So best bet, take him down, find yourself in a submission, hold him down, wrestle him, man. I mean, you got better grappling than the guy. Just do what you got to do. And then the last fight that I previewed was Neil Magny, Jeff Neal, because at the time of making my notes, that was in the place of the main event. Like I said, Michelle Waterson, Marina Rodriguez was not finished. So that was in place of the main event. So Neil Magny's going to have a 3-inch height, 3-inch reach advantage, which is very, very important because Jeff Neal is a power striker. Neil Magny has evolved his striking significantly in his last 4 or 5 fights. And Jeff Neal's got power in his hands, but it's going to be hard to land power strikes when you got to get inside a 3-inch reach advantage. Excuse me. Neil Magny is it's weird. You can still see me. That's pretty cool. He's 3-1 since losing a decision to Michael Chiesa, or he lost a decision to Michael Chiesa in his last fight. He's 3-1 since coming back from getting knocked out by Ponzinibbio in 2018. He comes back, goes 3-1 his last fight, losing to Chiesa. Before that, he beat Li Jingliang, Anthony Martin, and Robbie Lawler. He's also got big wins in the welterweight division over Kevin Gastelum and Johnny Hendricks before that. And what I was saying is the striking has definitely evolved in the Li Jingliang, Anthony Martin, and Robbie Lawler fights. Those are all very skilled strikers, power strikers, and Robbie Lawler and Li Jingliang. And he was able to stand on the outside, counter strike and do what he had to do to win a decision in those fights. All striking though. He's normally a very technical grappler and he can hold you down and get you in trouble with submissions, but in those fights he was able to keep it standing and outstrike those strikers. So it's very good to see. Jeff Neal, 13-3, lost his last fight by decision to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. 6-1 in the UFC. He's got wins over Frank Camacho, Biel Muhammad, Nico Price, Mike Perry. See, the most obvious thing that they could say for Neil Magny to win would be, you got to take this guy down. You got to take him down. You got to hold him down. You got to see if that path to victory is right for you in this fight, because Jeff Neal's got power, man. If you keep it standing, anything can happen. He's coming into the fight a favorite, -215. So, Neil Magny's got a tremendous amount of pressure on him, I believe, to win this fight. And he may be able to stand with him, trade, and stay on the outside and show that he's a very good striker, an evolved striker. But, that power, if you get clipped with that power, it's good night. So I think best bet, take him down, hold him down. And then just saying that, you say that, but Jeff Neal was able to beat grapplers, Biel Muhammad, who's a great grappler, great wrestling background, and he was able to keep it standing with him and outstrike him and eventually, I think, knock out Biel Muhammad. That's a tough one, man. It's a tough fight to predict. I like both the guys. I like Jeff Neal. I like Neil Magny. I'm going to have to go Neil Magny. It's just a smarter pick, in my opinion. Smarter pick. Rest of the card plays out. Marcos Rogero de Lima versus Maurice Green. Ben Rothwell versus Felipe Lenz. Phil Hawes versus Kyle Dawkins. Ludvot Klein taking on Michael Trinazzo. Ryan Benoit versus Saruka Erashev. Jun Young Park versus Tafan Nezwitzky. Christian Aguilera versus Carlson Harris. And then, of course, we heard earlier today that Marina Rodriguez will be taking on Michelle Waterson in the main event. I think they released a poster, so I think if the poster is correct, Cerrone and Moreno is going to still be sitting in the co-main event, which is why I said Neil Magny. Jeff Neal might be getting moved to the prelim main event, but we'll see. A week after that, I think, is a pay-per-view. I want to say, let me just check really quick. Yeah, UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler, was supposed to be Diaz, Leon Edwards. Diaz got a cut or something happened with Diaz, and they moved it back to 263. But also on the card, other than Chandler versus Oliveira, is Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush, Shane Burgos versus Edson Barboza, Caitlin Chikadian versus Vivian Ajuro, Jacare taking on Andre Muniz, whatever. Jacare is making his comeback here. Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian. Antonio Shevchenko taking on Andrea Lee. Great undercard as well. But, dude, that 263 card is insane. If Diaz versus Leon Edwards is really on 263, you got Adesanya versus Vettori, Figueroa versus Moreno rematch, Paul Craig, Jamal Hill, Damian Maia, Bill Muhammad, Drew Dober, Brad Riddle, Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz, fucking Movsar Evloev, Hakeem Dawandu, Frank Camacho, Matt Favola is a great fight. Chase Hooper's coming back, taking on Steven Peterson. 263, June 12th is going to be insane. I'm not taking anything away from the pay-per-view coming up, but that 263 one is going to be crazy. Until next time, I'm sick of standing in the dark, so I'll tell you guys I'm making it a quick one to storm all that shit. Stay barbecued. Holla at you for 262 channel there next week. See you back Tuesday.